What's the most bougie way to die? Falling off your horse during a polo match? Crashing your private jet? No, there's something even more fancy, and that's gold intoxication. I'm Maddie Massey and I talk about weird and wacky science. Today we're talking about Diane de Poitiers, one of the most infamous women in French history who met her demise because of gold. Diane lived in 16th century France and was known as one of the most beautiful women in the country. But her beauty wasn't only legendary, it was also critical for her survival and her social position. Diane was the royal mistress of King Henry II, who was 19 years younger than her. Diane was determined to maintain a youthful beauty for as long as possible to hold Henry's attention, and she went to incredible lengths. First, there was the strict daily exercise routine which involved swimming in ice-cold water and hours of horse riding. Then there were the daily face masks containing egg yolks, crushed barley, melon juice, and ambergris, which is essentially dried up whale vomit. Sperm whales release this gross sludge from their intestines into the ocean and it hardens up as it floats along. Eventually it turns up on the shore and humans use it for perfumes and cosmetics and other products. As a scientist, I doubt that the whale vomit face mask would have done much for Diane. Even though ambergris has been considered throughout history as a youth elixir or an aphrodisiac even, there's really no scientific evidence for this. But the most extreme thing that Diane did was drink her daily beauty potion of liquid gold. Gold drinking goes back to ancient Egyptian times, where it was considered an anti-aging remedy. And in Diane's time in the 16th century, gold medicines were prescribed for a range of different illnesses. To clarify, I don't mean molten gold, which needs to be heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius and was used to kill people during the Spanish Inquisition. Every day, Diane would knock back a mixture of gold chloride and diethyl ether, and that's extremely dangerous, and I'll tell you why. So pure 24 karat gold is safe to eat. You've probably even had it in some cupcakes or some fancy vodka or something. The pure gold passes through your digestive tract and doesn't react with anything. But gold in a chemical mixture like gold chloride, that's much more reactive. And if enough is consumed, it can lead to gold poisoning. Also, back in the 16th century, gold contained a lot more impurities like mercury. So the gold and the mercury would have started to poison Diane, causing all sorts of problems. And let's not forget about the diethyl ether. If you drink this stuff, it will give you a crazy buzz and some crazy hallucinations. Diethyl ether is super volatile, meaning that it can easily change from a liquid to a gas. This can actually happen inside your stomach, creating a cloud of gas which needs to be expelled through violent belching. Not so glamorous for Diane. Her beauty potion would have given her a bit of a high, but it would have made her sick and definitely not look any younger. She ended up dying in her 60s after a horse riding accident that she never really recovered from. Diane was laid to rest in her home of Château d'Anay, but her tomb was opened during the French Revolution and then her remains were tossed into a mass grave. Hundreds of years later in the 2000s, scientists were able to identify which remains belonged to Diane by matching up her jawbone to portraits of her and also finding evidence of her horse riding accidents in the bones. They also found a few of her hairs which contained an obscenely high level of gold, much higher than normal. And this suggests that Diane de Poitiers was one of the only people in history who was rich enough and glamorous enough to die of gold intoxication.